Hi guys. So today we're going to be talking about what a good tacos is. So just for context, it really does depend on your business. If you have profitability issues and your margins are very slim, you're going to want to keep your tacos extremely low. But if you have a really high price point and you've got higher margins, you might have a little bit more room to play around. But even if you do have more room to play around, you don't necessarily want to get super hyper aggressive because you might end up sacrificing some other efficiency metrics that can tell Amazon that you're not as relevant as you might be. So it's just important to keep in mind that your personal goals play a bigger role in this than any kind of cookie cutter benchmark sort of approach. But we're still going to look at a couple of numbers here, just some really, really rough estimates. A tacos of less than 5%, sometimes we hear brands that come in and say, oh, our tacos is only 3%, it's only 4%. They're really proud of these numbers. That can be a really good thing, but it also can be dangerous. If you are growing and your sales are getting bigger and bigger, and you're not keeping up with the ad spend in order to take advantage of the increased search volume for your brand and your products, you're potentially leaving yourself open to deflation. Your account just might start losing sales instead of growing. So we really like to maintain at least a 5% tacos, but again, this is brand specific. 5 to 8% tacos is usually a pretty good range for stability that says, hey, this is how efficient we want to run. We don't really care if we're growing. We just want to make sure we're getting this much money out. This is a really good range for a brand that has really strict profitability goals. 8 to 10%, you're typically going to start to see some growth, not necessarily a huge amount of growth, but that's the level of reinvestment that ends up getting you closer and closer to growing your brand. Anything over 10%, again, this is another area where it can get potentially dangerous, especially if you're going over 15 or 20%. But anything over 10%, you tend to see more aggressive growth. So if we've got a brand that has sales growth goals, but they're not as concerned about profitability, then we'll typically run with somewhere around a 12 to 15% tacos. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed.